All right, now I'll be turning the music on in a moment. So if we can all just first of all start to think about how it feels to breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. Taking our time, relaxing our shoulders. I want us to really just lay down and practice being still. So if you're somebody who's really fidgety right now, let's see if we can lay perfectly still. We're going to see how much we can get done in today's practice with different stretches. We need to set ourselves up in the right mindset. So right now, just closing our eyes, take a couple big belly breaths and notice how that feels. While we're laying here, the next thing I'd like everyone to do is take our arms, reach them long up over our head. Big stretch. Keep taking bigger breaths now, okay, everybody? Nice big breaths, just staying here. Amazing. Now I want us to release our arms, gather our knees into our chest, and take a really nice big hug, holding onto those legs, just rocking side to side. As we continue to rock side to side, noticing how that feels. Now I want us to just hold our knees in and give our ankles a little bit of a roll. All right. Now as we're holding both legs, go ahead and keep your legs still. Just keeping a hold of our right leg, go ahead and bring that left leg all the way down to the mat. We're hugging the right knee into the shoulder, out towards the right shoulder just a little bit as we really push that left leg down into the ground. How does this feel across our hips? When's the last time you checked in with your legs and just noticed any stiffness, any tightness? Go ahead and release that right leg down to the floor. We'll bring our left knee up into the chest instead. And as we squeeze that left knee in, go ahead and open that left leg out towards the left shoulder, pressing that right leg firmly down. Slow your breathing. Relax across your chest and shoulders, staying away from our screens, staying away from distractions, releasing that left leg down. Wonderful. Coming into our glute bridges next. With our shoulders firmly on the ground, let's bring both feet up, planting our feet about hips width distance apart, bending our knees. With our feet coming in a little bit closer towards your hips. We're going to lift our hips up and down. Ready? We inhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling, and exhale, slowly lower. We'll do this a few times. Inhale, lift, activating our glutes. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down, using your breath. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, slowly lower. Amazing. From here, what I'd like us to do is take our arms out to the side. We're going to do a little bit more core work with our obliques, taking windshield wipers. Now lift your knees up so your shins are parallel with the floor, held at 90 degrees. Taking one big breath in the middle. Exhale, both legs drop to the right side. Inhale, lift up to the middle. Exhale, drop the legs to the left side. Inhale in the middle. Exhale to the right, straightening out your legs if you need a little bit more challenge. Inhale in the middle. Exhale to the left, keeping both shoulders completely flat on the floor. Inhale through the middle. One more each way. Exhaling to the right. And last time, inhale through the middle. Exhaling to the left. Inhale through the middle.
Exhale, release the legs down. Preparing to take ourselves over onto hands and knees in tabletop position. Go ahead and reach your self over onto your side, pick yourself up onto your hands and knees in your quadruped position, all fours. Now, as we find ourselves here, we're going to work our way into spinal balance. Strong through those bellies. Pick the bellies up, shoulders down. Extend your right arm forward in line with the shoulder, and then try to lift that left leg back as high as your hip. Slowly lowering down. Inhale, left arm forward and right leg back. Lowering down. Inhale, right side. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale. Inhale, right. Exhale. Last time, inhale, left. Just noticing our balance. Exhale, down. From here, taking cows and cats. We inhale, open the chest, look forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the back, tuck the chin up to cat. Doing that a few times, just at your own pace. Take your time. And when you feel like you've done enough, go ahead and find that you're coming back into child's pose. Back into child's pose, we want to sink our hips as low as we're able to go into our heels. Extend those arms forward. See if you can get your forehead down on the floor. Wonderful. Taking thread the needle next. We'll bring our right arm, thread it all the way underneath that left shoulder. Go ahead and lay into that right ear. Play with the arm position, but essentially we want them running perpendicular to each other. Good, reaching that right arm front. We'll take our left arm underneath the right this time, and then lay into your left ear. Stretching all the way through that left shoulder. Coming back through the middle. Taking ourselves forward into our kneeling plank. So from child's pose, we reach ourselves forward onto hands and knees, shoulders stacked right on top of wrists. From our kneeling plank position, we're going to lower down into your baby crocodile. Just hover above the mat. Press straight up into your kneeling plank. Press back into child's pose. All the way back if you're able to. Doing that 2 more times. Inhale, forward into kneeling plank. Exhale, lower, baby crocodile. Back stays straight as we press straight up. Push back into child's pose. 1 more time, ready? Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, hover above the mat. Inhale, press straight up. Exhale, push back all the way into child's pose. Take a couple of breaths. Notice how that feels. We're taking ourselves up into down dog next. So go ahead and curl your toes underneath of you, lifting tall with your hips, high up to the sky. While you're in down dog, see if you can go from rounding your back to really straightening it out. Try to keep your knees a little bit bent as you try to push those heels down to the floor. Feel free to pedal the feet, walking the dog. Good, we might feel a good calf stretch here. Now slowly walking your hands and feet together at the top of your mat, coming up halfway into your monkey stretch. Hands can be on your thighs or your shins, backs are parallel to the floor. Take those rounded shoulders and pull them together. Nose points down towards the floor. Pull those bellies in. We're transferring the weight into our heels now, finding chair pose. Sitting low into your heels, low into your hips, reaching our arms forward. Good, hold it here. Take a big inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, relax. Finding ourselves coming into our mountain pose. Mountain pose, soft knees, toes to the front. From mountain pose, making sure those shoulders are rolled down, we feel really tall through the middle. The knees are a little bit soft. We're taking warrior one. Planting the right foot at the top of our mat. Let's bring that left leg back behind us. Pull in the rib cage. Make sure you're feeling very, very strong, very secure with the ribs. Belly, sternum, everything points straight to the front. As we bend into that right knee, let's lift our arms up nice and tall. Remember, the option if our arms up tall is hurting any of our shoulders today, we can take heart center. Press away from that back heel. Really press that heel down into the ground. That's going to help us stretch our calf. Hold it here for a couple big breaths. One more big inhale. All right, from here, we're opening up to warrior two. Turn your legs so that you're still bending forward into your right knee, but now your left toe faces the long edge of your mat. Arms are up really strong. Pull those shoulders in together as we bend into that right knee. Stay where you are. See how we don't want this knee coming into the middle. We want it opening back, keeping that knee right on top of the ankle. Feeling really tall, everybody. Strong arms. Never let your arms just hang. Let's keep them really well intentioned. Taking next, our side angle. Let's really stretch through those hips today. Right elbow onto the thigh, left arm all the way high up to the sky. Stacking shoulders, opening up those arms. Noticing if your arms are sore, we may feel that this is a little bit more difficult today. It's a good idea to keep trying to encourage the blood flow. Finding our balance. Big inhale, lift all the way up. Now we had our right foot forward. I want you to turn it to the long edge of your mat as well. So we would have both toes facing the long edge, a little bit soft through the knees. Go ahead and reach those arms all the way up. Now hinging forward, backs are flat, reaching forward. Let's see if we can get our arms all the way down to the floor. Maybe they stay on our thighs or our shins today, and then we'll just drop the head. In your standing straddle, we just hold the stretch. Keep reaching that head down. See if we can stretch all the way up the backs of the legs. Keep holding it. And now slowly, I want you to take your hands all the way down to the ground, bending your knees as much as you need to in order to sweep that right foot to face front. Come in through that lunge. Now don't move. We're gonna stay here in this lunge. So we all have to find this position together. See how my back left leg is straight, belly is really strong. Taking lizard. So we bring both hands to the inside of that right leg. See if you can see better. Both hands to the inside of that leg, lining it up. I'll show you what it looks like from the front. Good, keeping that knee stacked right above the ankle. Now in lizard, we're stretching through the inner thigh, keeping the shoulders really level. And if we are able to come down to our forearms while holding that level position, you can do that. You can drop that back knee to the floor if you prefer. One more big inhale. Exhale, slowly bring that right leg back behind us, finding down dog or child's pose. Go ahead and give yourself a little bit of a break here. If you find yourself getting distracted or any of the thought process wandering around, use this time to refocus. Take a couple of big breaths. Now from your down dog or child's pose, I'll ask that we start to slowly walk our hands and feet up to the top of our mat again. And when we get to the top of our mat, finding that monkey stretch. So I've got my hands up high on my thighs, pulling those shoulder blades together, pulling the bellies in, nice flat back. If you're able to take your hands down to your shins, maybe that's a better position for you. Just keep those shoulders pulling together, really trying to create that tabletop surface with the back. Softening our knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, lift up nice and tall. And exhale, release. Amazing. Left foot is at the top of our mat as we bring that right leg back behind us into warrior one. Planting that heel right down into the ground, lifting up nice and tall, opening up through the hips, reaching our arms tall or finding heart center. Now this front left leg, we want the knee stacked right on top of the ankle. So make sure you're not, just standing in a split stance. We've got it bent. We're finding our balance, and some of us are even closing our eyes. Couple more breaths here. Turning into our warrior two position. We open up our hips, bring those arms out nice and strong. We're opening right across the pelvis. Left knee is stacked right on top of the ankle. Make sure that big toe is facing forward as well. Arms are held strong. Keep those arms working. Good, let's see if we're able to hold this for just 2 more breaths. Very strong through the thighs, long through the torso, getting ready for side angle. Bringing that left elbow to the thigh, right arm up to the ceiling. Now just check that we're not leaning into this left shoulder. We should always be able to lift that arm, readjust if necessary. And this top arm, what is it doing? Can we see it? Is it pointing straight up to the ceiling? Have we had to rest it in behind our back? Let's make sure that we know where everything is. Taking a big inhale, let's lift up. Good, now just turn both toes to the long edge of your mat, softening your knees. From here, taking those arms up, reaching our arms forward as we hinge at the hips. See how low you can get. Maybe today you're staying up quite high. I just want you to feel a stretch up those hamstrings. Some of us might be able to get our hands all the way down to the floor. Couple big breaths. Nice flat backs. Notice how that feels up the hamstrings. Then get ready. We're going to start softening the knee and walk both hands over that left foot, turning the left toes to face the front again. As we bring our hands down on either side of the leg, we establish ourselves in our crescent lunge. Left leg is forward, knee stacked above ankle. Both hands come to the inside into our lizard. Happy with our hips, lining the shin of the left leg up with the forearm of that left arm. Feel free to take that right knee back down onto the ground, maybe even our elbows down. I'm feeling quite restricted in this area today, so I'm going to keep my hands high. Focus on nice flat back, long necks, and slow, deep breathing. Personally, I'm feeling it through my left groin and the right hip, so the front of my left thigh. Just notice where you're feeling it. Take your time as we slowly get out of that, sweeping that left leg back behind us, pushing back into down dog or child's pose. Couple big breaths. Holding your stretch, noticing how that feels. Start to walk our hands and feet together at the top edge of our mat. Coming halfway up to monkey. Soft knees, shoulder blades pulled together. Belly's pulling up and in. Now softening the knees even more. Big inhale, reverse swan dive, lift tall. And exhale, release. Finding mountain. Taking ourselves into a couple of different standing balances next. I want to make sure that you're happy with your position on your mat. So if you need something to help you with your balance, if you had a table or a ledge nearby, you could always just tap the table. Same with a wall. I'll encourage you to try to do it without any assistance, but it's better than getting frustrated. Definitely starting to build our balance. So go ahead and take that position now in mountain. Both feet together, roll the shoulders down, palms face forward. We are going to start with our dancer stretch. We extend that right leg back behind us. I'll turn to the side just a little bit so you can see. The right leg is back behind us. Go ahead and take the inside of the foot if you are comfortable with that. Otherwise, it's the outside. Softening those knees so that they're nice and close together, reaching your left arm forward. If you needed help with balance, that's when you would just take that left hand and gently touch the ledge or a wall. If anyone's able to do so, we'll start kicking that right foot into the hand, opening up that right shoulder, making sure, however, that your belly button and the center of your collarbone, your nose, all stay facing directly to the front. As soon as we start opening, that's when we get into some balance issues. Taking just a couple more big breaths. See if maybe we can get a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, and release down. Go ahead and fidget out those feet. If you were using a ledge, maybe just turn your body the other way so that you can hold it now with your right hand. We're going to extend that left leg back behind us, taking hold of the foot. Again, I recommend just left hand up, holding the inside of the foot this way. But if you get confused or if it's more comfortable, go ahead and hold the outside. Legs come in nice and close together. When you're ready, soft supporting knee, right arm reaches forward or touching the wall, left leg is gonna come back. See how I'm stretching my left shoulder by just pushing that foot back into the hand, but keeping hips, keeping shoulders facing directly forward. Go as big as you're able to, just never drop your head. Remember, you always wear a crown on top of the head, and if you were to let your head fall, the crown would fall off. So we always keep our head held high. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, release that. Go ahead and fidget that out. That's a really nice stretch for the quads, isn't it? The next stretch is going to be dancer, which was just happening. The next stretch is going to be your figure four. Standing figure four or standing pigeon. So again, you might need to touch the wall or touch a ledge. Otherwise, I want us to see, so starting in mountain, I'm gonna take my hands to my hips to begin. We'll lift that right knee up, place the right foot over your left thigh. See how I've just flexed my foot? From here, we sit down into a single leg squat. Holding this, it might help if you take your arms out to the side. I like reaching my arms forward, just like we do in chair. Some people also prefer to keep the hands held right tightly at the heart. Notice that again, you have to wear your crown right on top of the head. Keep those shoulders, really amazing posture as we zip up. And the point of this stretch, if you can see if I turn to the side, is we are sitting, we're squatting back, and we're stretching through that right hip. Hold it for one more big inhale. Exhale, slowly stand up and release. Lots of good stretch here while working on our balance and stability. Rolling those shoulders down. We'll repeat now with the left knee coming up. Cross that ankle over the thigh. Sitting low into our squat. Flex that foot, it gives a little bit more tension. Arms can be out, reach front, or find heart center. Now just notice that when we've got this knee raised, we're not twisting or sitting. We're keeping ourselves really well aligned, always working on proper alignment, good body positioning, awareness, taking that check. How is my center of gravity today? Am I still breathing evenly in and out through the nose? One more big inhale. Exhale, release. How was our balance today? How did that feel? Thinking about that, was it frustrating? Was it fun? Did we have a good balance day? All of these wonderful things to learn. Coming to the top of our mat if we moved at all. Big inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Hinging at the hips, come all the way down into forward fold. Slowly bending the knees, let's step all the way back to plank position. Finding that plank, what I'd like us to do is chaturanga. You can keep the legs straight or bring the knees to the floor as we slowly lower the body to the ground. Lifting up into cobra, scooping up, big long reach, whether you're staying with elbows bent in baby or coming up full into cobra stretch. Long necks, please and thank you. Lowering ourselves all the way down to our mats. Working into scorpion. Arms come out to the side. We'll take that right hand underneath the right shoulder. Bend both knees or just your right knee. Slowly rolling over that left shoulder. Maybe we roll just a little bit. Maybe we roll enough that we can take one or both feet onto the floor, the knee pointing up to the ceiling. You are in control of the stretch, the amount of pressure that we're putting into that left shoulder, little back stretch perhaps. Slowly coming through the middle, take your time. Take both arms out to the side, and then that left hand comes under the left shoulder. Both knees bent or just the left knee. Roll over that straight right arm. Again, it can be just a little bit, or it can be a lot. Maybe the foot comes on the floor, the knee to the ceiling. Slowly rolling onto the stomach. Take our time as we bring both hands under the rib cage, pulling up for cobra stretch again. See if we can get just a little bit taller, a little bit longer. Really press away from the hand, lifting the head high, pressing back into downward facing dog. Go ahead and curl those toes, lift the hips up nice and high, and relax the shoulders. So as we pull the bellies in, I want you to imagine that you're pulling the chest back towards your legs. Try to really pull those shoulder blades down your back. Try to drop the heels as close to the floor as you can get them. From here, we're taking ourselves into tabletop position. Preparing for frog. Now in frog, we're going to separate our knees. I'll show it in two directions. I'll show it facing this way. So separate the knees and then turn the feet coming down. So you're going to notice from this direction that I'm keeping my hips held high off of the ground. I'm drawing a straight line from knee, hip, hip, knee. We're not bringing our hips out of alignment. We're not crouching back here like a child's pose. Okay, if I were to show that from the front, as we all hold this position, we take our knees out to the side, trying to leave my hips in line. So there's a straight line running across hips and knees. Come down onto forearms or hands as we bring the legs out. Now you're gonna see the legs. I've got my knees bent at a 90-degree angle. Same with my feet. My feet are turned right out to the side. Feeling an intense stretch through the groin. Just breathe nice and slow. We don't want our fight or flight response to kick in. We don't have to feel like this is mandatory. If at any point we're feeling anxious or starting to get really stressed out about this, take your time and go back into child's pose. Listen to your body. Try to encourage that relaxation response. Take our time bringing the toes together, slowly rocking our hips back as we come up onto our hands. And if we're able to bring our feet in, we can circle them back, finding child's pose. Take a moment to recover, sinking those hips low into your heels. And from child's pose, we are going to work our way all the way over onto our backs. Take your time as you lay on your back. All right. Now, a couple of things that we're going to do today that we've been warming up for. We warmed up through the inner thighs and groin to get into frog. We've stretched through the outer hips with our figure 4 and with our warrior series. Now we're going to stretch through our lower back, working also at opening up across the chest like we just did with scorpion in our shoulder stand. Now stopping at any point with your shoulder stand, I'll try to show as many progressions as I'm able to today. Just gonna tuck the shirts in, and then we bring our arms down by our sides, walking the heels in nice and close to the bum, starting to lift up into a glute bridge. So squeeze the glutes, see how high we're able to go today, and then take your hands underneath your back so that the fingertips are pointing towards your feet. You may have to walk your toes in just a little bit closer. From here, I want you to see if you're able to lift one knee up at a time. Now see how I never jumped, okay? There's no jumping. Now, I'm not going to be able to straighten my legs today because I'm dealing with a sore tailbone, but if you're able to lift your legs up all the way to the ceiling, that would be really awesome holding that candlestick or shoulder stand. And if anyone's so inclined, you can also take those legs and try to bring your feet all the way behind your head, which would be known as your plow pose. Holding it there, take your time. And now, whenever you need to get out of it, I hope you didn't just watch me because I did the no-no. I rolled down. Please don't roll down. When you come out of it, you're going to keep your hands underneath your bum, bending your knees, and then slowly taking one foot at a time, and then release your hands and let your bum come down from your glute bridge. Whenever you're ready, taking that now. Try to avoid rolling just because we like to practice control. Now from here, go ahead and just windshield wiper those legs side to side. Bringing our arms out to the side with both legs straight if you're able to. I'm just gonna keep my knees bent today. We'll take our right knee up 90 degrees, lower all the way over to the left in your spinal twist. And we'll look over that right arm if that's comfortable. Try to relax both shoulders down on the ground. Take a few really nice slow breaths. Inhale, lifting the knee up. And exhale, lower down. Again, you can have one leg straight or both legs straight. I'm keeping knees bent as we lift the left knee up. Exhale, lower over to the right with control. And then with both shoulders staying glued to the mat, we can look over that left arm. Just starting to feel really quite calm, quite restful, maybe even a little sleepy. Inhale, lifting the knee up, and exhale, lower down. If anyone would like to take the body into a butterfly now, you're welcome to do so, pressing soles of feet together, letting those knees open, noticing all the stretch we've done through the inner thighs and hips today. And if this isn't the position you'd like to be in right now, feel free to take Shavasana. I'm going to come into Shavasana now. Those of us in butterfly, if we'd like to stay here longer, please do so. Shavasana is going to be our legs straight, just like we started our practice together today. Legs are straight with feet open wide. Arms are just out on the sides, palms facing up. And if anyone's taking extra care of their backs today, which would be me included, we're just going to keep our knees bent with our knees coming in towards one another. Restoring those backs and hips. Relaxing our shoulders. Noticing your face. Are we squeezing our eyelids? Are we staring off in space? Let's see if we can close our eyes. Soften the eyelids. Stop racing those eyeballs around in their sockets. Let's find stillness. Just like we spoke of at the beginning of our practice together. The art of stillness. Can we lay here without being productive? We're not planning our next adventure. We're not stressing over the homework or the projects we have to do later. We're simply laying here, grateful for the opportunity to take care of our bodies, stretching our muscles, giving our mind an opportunity to rest so that it's more open, more creative, better attention, better memory, all because we focused on our breathing. We took some time for self-reflection. We took our check, scanning our muscles, scanning our body, and intentionally slowing our heart rate, controlling that blood pumping in and out of the heart, in through the lungs, delivering it all the way to our fingers and toes, becoming more efficient as a muscle, keeping us nice and healthy. Continuing those slow, deep breaths for just another moment or two. Noticing how calm we feel. And if we feel stressed or anxious or distracted, just asking ourselves why. Why we weren't able to find that level of serenity today. Maybe there's something going on that we can try to attend to before the next time we hit the mat. When you're ready, I'll invite you to start wiggling your fingers and your toes. If your knees were still in butterfly, helping them in together. And if you had your knees or your legs on the ground, start to draw those in. Everyone together, we can take a nice big hug, holding those legs, just like at the beginning, knees to chest. Feel free to rock side to side. A couple slow big breaths just to finish as we find baby pose. Baby pose is laying on your favorite side. Don't think about it too hard, just roll over onto one side. We can lay our head directly on that outstretched arm. Take your free hand in front of you. And just relax. Just a couple of breaths. No rush. Nowhere to be. And this is a great moment to think about how we feel. How do we feel during practice? How do we feel right now? And now I will ask that we start to slowly push ourselves all the way up into that seated posture. Oh, feels so relaxed.